Hi everybody, welcome to video 13 of the Facility Design Basics or 101 for Cannabis Facilities. My name is Chris Besnoy with ICE TV, brought to you by icecan.com. Let's dive right in. We've already talked about other areas in the facility. Go ahead and watch the other videos. They're important things you should know. As we move deeper into the facility, today we're going to talk about the receiving and quarantine area. And you know what? We're going to add in the storage. Why not? Because it comes part and parcel to receiving and quarantine. You may notice that this facility actually features a separate shipping area and a separate receiving area. We went through another video, the shipping video specifically, where we talk about the advantages of having two separate areas. You could have them as one, the receiving, quarantine, and shipping, but keep in mind that the receiving, quarantine, and shipping will have to be a large area, and there's also some GPP, GMP, GXP requirements, or at least considerations to think about. Nonetheless, this facility, it's ideal to have separate shipping, separate receiving. This facility specifically has a separate receiving and quarantine area, comes complete with an overhead door. This is pretty important. The regular shipping comes with two doors. This is to facilitate any cannabis being shipped to wherever it needs to go. Single door is enough also, or an overhead door. Small is okay. Receiving, I agree with an overhead door. The reason being, you're going to receive bulk soil. It could be pots. It could be packaging. Whatever the case may be, you're going to receive it through an overhead door. This overhead door should be secured either with a padlock or through the motor for the overhead door. Should be a steel construction resilient door, and it should come with a door contact attached to the intrusion detection system. Again, security I'll go through in another video series. The idea with this receiving and quarantine is product will come in from a courier, from a truck driver. It'll be brought in through the overhead door. It'll be placed in this area until the QA clears it. The quality assurance person needs to clear any product that comes in to make sure there's no contaminants, which is why we call it a receiving and quarantine. Here's an example. You could have a truck driver that comes in, you open the door, you're automatically getting this place all dirty. They bring a whole bunch of pots. And those pots are here all wrapped up in plastic. Well, the QA will have to come and receive that product, or a designated person. Generally, it's the QA that will come and receive that product. When that truck driver leaves, that product has to be unwrapped. But the QA, their job is to make sure there's no dirt coming in, make sure those pots have been received properly, they're sanitized, whatever the case may be. Quarantine does not refer to cannabis quarantine. That we already talked about in secured storage and destruction. It refers to equipment, or it refers to supplies being shipped to the facility and being quarantined until they're allowed into the facility once they are managed and once it's determined that there is no contaminants. This particular design also features a storage area. The idea is that anything that comes into quarantine or receiving, once it's cleared by the QA, goes into the storage area, and therefore it's clean, it's already been cleared, and that storage area staff can go into this storage area whenever they need to get supplies. An ideal situation. We've also got a door here. Much like we have a shipping door, I highly recommend this be access controlled. The idea is that you do not want a truck driver to be in this space delivering pots or delivering soil and give them the ability to walk directly into your facility. That is what we call a security no-no. Therefore, you want to have this door access controlled, either electronic access control or high security keyway. You're going to want a door contact on it. Either way you look at it, it has to be access control. This particular door swings out for egress purposes. You'll notice that this door swings in and then out. You can configure doors to swing in and out for egress. It will be compliant. Typically they swing out. In this case, they swing in for the shipping and out for the storage. This area here does not need to be built to any compliance, any GXP compliance, does not need to have epoxy coated floor, does not need to have washable walls, does not need to have the food grade caulking. None of that is needed. It's considered a dirty area. The one thing you should consider, as we've mentioned before, is that whenever somebody comes in, usually the QA comes in through this space to receive any product, they quarantine it, they clear it, it goes into storage. That person that went into receiving and quarantine, once this door is opened, technically this is a dirty environment. You may want an airlock. We talked about that for shipping. You may want an airlock here to ensure that if anybody comes through this space into receiving and quarantine, the overhead door opens, that any contaminants, dirt, snow, whatever, that may get onto somebody's gown, you have the ability to come back through this space into the airlock, get rid of one gown, put on a clean one, and then walk through the storage area. It is a compliance piece in certain jurisdictions. It is a EU GMP requirement in certain jurisdictions. Nonetheless, it is something to consider. It's not a necessary thing as long as your SOPs are wrapped around how you sanitize. Some people refer to receive product, put it in quarantine, and then leave through the overhead door, come back around to the main entrance of the facility. You could do that. Keep in mind, 50 feet of snow, not going to be any fun. But things to consider, we're trying to keep clean, and dirty, dirty. Does not need to be constructed to any sort of compliance. SOPs have to be wrapped around how you get receiving done. As mentioned before with shipping, I highly recommend that there is a video intercom here, facilitates communications with staff inside the facility. Should a truck driver want to come up, you shouldn't just open the door without knowing who's on the other side. Video intercom is what I highly recommend. Nonetheless, that receiving, quarantine, and storage, pretty straightforward. There's nothing major that you need with these, just like shipping. Considerations are separate shipping and receiving, and considerations for making sure that you are clean and sanitized when you come back from a dirty area into the clean environment. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video when we're actually going to start going into some of the flower rooms. See you soon. This informative video was brought to you by icecan.com, the industry's first marketplace for new and used equipment. Whether you're looking for brand new equipment for your cannabis venture, maybe you're looking for some used equipment, we can easily source that for you and ship it to you anywhere in the world, right to your front doorstep. Maybe you're looking for some services. We know a lot of great people in this industry. You've been around for the past 10 years. We can easily help you and refer you to anybody that you may need, whether it's advisory services, regulatory compliance, maybe you're looking for some funding for your cannabis venture. Either way you look at it, we can easily help source that consultancy or that service you may need. Once again, thanks for watching. This is ICE TV, brought to you by icecan.com.